Happy 14th of February to you. And I hope that you're well. I hope you're coming to join me. My name's Barbara Gray from Clarity Stamp here in the UK. And you're in the SHAC Shack. Safe, happy and creative. Stay home and craft. I hope that you can hear me. I hope that the volume is good. And now I'm just going to wait patiently until you arrive so that we can crack on with our doodling and relax and chat and hang out. It's very important for me, this is at the moment, more important than before, even before getting together. It's great because it gives me something to focus on, something to really think about every single day. Oh, sound is nice and clear. Do you know what I've forgotten to do? Just bear with me 1 second while I change so that it's not too loud, because sometimes when it gets too loud, it starts to look, see, hello, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there you go. That's better. And then it doesn't spike, because there's nothing worse than spiking, is there? Come on in. Oh, here they all are. Good morning, ladies and gents. Come on in. It's Monday. The sun is shining today. Really shining. Hiya. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Karen. Oh, the artists are in the building. Come on in. Marion, grüß dich aus Deutschland. Isn't it lovely that we are keeping each other company all over the world? Can't think of a better way to spend a Monday morning. You rock. I find the Monday is so important. I don't know about you. I mean, I know a lot of you won't be able to watch live, and you'll be watching this on catch up. And, you know, that's okay, isn't it? But for us, hanging out in a live studio, now that's cool. It's very important for me anyway, and I can only speak for myself. It just means on Monday morning, instead of looking at the week ahead and thinking, oh, here we go again, I think, oh, hang on a minute. I'm hanging out with my friends at 10 o'clock in the morning. I better get my makeup on, and I better make myself be the best person that I can be, you know? So come on, fake it to make it and all that. I'm still working on the windmill. Good for you, Sue. That's the thing, isn't it? You know, I've noticed quite a lot of people are going right back, you know, to our doodles and our art projects from a year ago and 2 years ago. Isn't that lovely? And what are we working on? Well, we're working on some quotes. And I thought that last week, I really enjoyed the last couple of weeks with the lettering, you know, and this all kind of evolved from the National Handwriting Day, you know, and then we got our heads around it, didn't we? Because we do like a quote, don't we? Us girls and boys. So where we started, well, hey, don't lose my pencils though. Where we started, let me show you, was when we did The Artist Is Nothing. Do you remember? We did The Artist Is Nothing. We put a bit of gold leaf on there, did some shading, and we've done it before. I call it straddle writing, where you make lines and then you write in between the lines, and you just give yourself, you know, like the dots on the eyes were a perfect place to use gold leaf. And that was the first one that we did, wasn't it? That was really nice. And then based on that, because then I thought, I turned it around and I thought, well, actually, hang on a minute. These are like stalks of a flower. So then into the next little, where's our next little lot? I keep it in bags so that I don't lose it. Oh, and by the way, if you're interested, what we do is we do it. If you're new to the game, we work on tracing paper and then we transfer to best. And that takes all the pressure off us, doesn't it? Because it means that you're not working, you know, when you're working straight onto the watercolor paper or onto the card, I find I get quite nervous, and that's not the purpose of this, you know. And so it's really good to use tracing paper, which is what most graphic designers do, to get your layout, get your composition, make sure it's all in the right place, flip it over, transfer it. And so where are we now? So we were looking at flowers. Is that the same one? Yeah, here they are. Here they are. So these are the ones that we did. Let's have a look. And I transferred mine. I did, in the end, I put them on a piece of tracing paper, because what we did work on was a piece of copy paper, didn't we? We just worked on a piece of copy paper. And then I thought, you know, I wanted to put it in best. And then I thought, I don't want to go freehand. I want to enjoy the process. So I used this, and I'll show you my little book of quotes. Remember I said I was going to do it? There we are. There they are. So just to recap, okay, we drew it on a piece of copy paper. I'm going to do this because I know that there are always new friends joining us. There, like that. Do you remember? So I did it on a bit of copy paper. Yeah, folded in. See, just to break it down for you. Folded into 3 to get the size, didn't we? And then, once I had my artwork down, then we did the writing on another piece, didn't we? We wrote the writing on another piece, which sits in there. So that was easy. We did that on tracing paper, mind, because I said, I'm looking from the bit that I'm, here it is, because I looked at that and I thought, oh, that'll make a really nice stamp. I don't want to draw all over that. I'm gonna make a stamp out of this. Well, I'm gonna get a stamp made out of that. So that's why I went to tracing paper to add the words, you see, and then the words go in between the stems. All right. And so that kept separate, because I woke up this morning thinking about this, and I thought, if I made a set of stamps, let's say with these flowers, and you could either make, well, it'd be too complicated with all lots of stalks. So you'd make a beautiful solid piece, and then maybe some extras, right? And then you could, but you'd have to make the gaps the same, somehow the same, like 3 different gaps. But when you spread them out, it doesn't look the same. And then you could put words, you could actually add quotes in stamps, I mean, you know. I'm working on it. This is my huge distraction, the best diversion. It is for me, and I think it is for you. I've been looking at your wonderful artwork on Clarity Worldwide, and I think it is for you as well, isn't it? Hey. So I transferred it to tracing paper like this, and I flipped it over, and then I pushed again, traced it out again, inked it up, took the tracing paper, added the words, all inked in, ready to go, ready to shade in with my friends. And that's great. How about you? I noticed that lots of you had already done it, which is good. If you want to get ahead on the bus, you be my guest. There's nothing wrong with that. The whole idea of the shack is for us to get together, for me to throw a few ideas out there, have a little banter, you know, bit of focus. Hey, isn't it? Be all right. It'll be all right. And so I thought today, see, I'm using my little book, because what I want to do, I said I was going to do this, and I am. I've got this little book, and this is the first. So every time I open this book in the future, I'm going to fill it with quotes. And every time I open this book, I shall think of you, because I shall remember we did this one together. Yeah. And now what I want to do, though, is shade it with you. I've got all my bits in, and I've kind of done a quick recap, so you know how we got it to here. You have to sort of decide what size you want to do, and draw to size. Yeah, I know in graphics now, of course, you know, you can scan it and expand it, and you know, all that jazz. But the whole point of this is for us to get with our hands. You know, I don't want to make a science out of it. We just want to focus. So have you got some pencils, some shading pencils? I'm going to go with, let me show you, and then perhaps you can get yours out. So I've got some greys. There's this set. This is these are the pens that I use to do the actual artwork. And then there's this set of Faber-Castell polychromos. There's a set of 12. Paul, you're in the building with our friends. Maybe you can put the link up for them. There's gold and silver and copper in this metallic set as well. So what this does is it gives you, as a kind of a supplement to the big 60. The big 60. This will be the big 63 in a month's time. Oh no! How did that happen? Eh? Anyway, I think there's 60 in here. 60. There we go. The best pencils in the world, if I'm allowed to say so. Yeah, so this is just a really cool supplement if people just want the shaders. And yeah, so that's what we're going to use for the shading. So I've inked it up already, and so I used that one to do my inking. I used my pink rubber to get rid of some of the graphite. I used my pencils, my shading pencils to do the I used my shading pencils to do the transfer on the tracing paper, and I'm going to use the greys. I'm going for the greys. I'm missing the Payne's grey there, but I don't know if I want to go that dark anyway. So I'm going to start with the boring beige. It's not boring beige, it's warm grey 2. It's my favourite. It's the best colour, and it's actually in the tin, but I think you need 2 of them. Look, they become stumpy. So what we're going to do now is, let me see, rather than use a pencil sharpener and make it go stumpy even faster, let me get one of my sanding blocks. That'll do. Sanding blocks, great for this. Okay, let's have a look. Right, and what I want to do is just make a chisel. See? Right, so we just sand it off. And when it gets really, really ridiculously, when there's no more purchase on there and it just sand, you know, it's like nail files, isn't it? They just go. And when that happens, then you just so that you know, you probably know this, you peel this off and there's a nice fresh one underneath. That's how it works. Everybody okay? Are you ready to start this? So what I want to do is add some shade, but we're going to look at this. Put some cream on my hand. We're going to look at this from this angle first. So if let me take a bit of, let me take one of these. That'll do. I think I want to lean on that because you're working on something a bit higher. It's not so easy. Let's get a bit of copy paper. Right. Okay, that'll do. Get comfortable, and then you can use the copy paper to check your pencil as well. So I'm working on watercolor paper, which has got really nice texture. It's got really nice texture. Let me come in a little bit so you can see. Is that better? So we're going to put down just some shadow, light shadow, where we want to focus our shadow. See? So for example, I'm going to put some light, this warm grey colour in there over the top there. Let's do the stalks first. And because I'm working on watercolour, so it's got that real nice texture to it. Okay, like that. And then I'm going to bring this one in here and I'm working underneath. There we go. There, just put a little bit of colour. See, it's not graphite, it's just a lovely, let's put some shadow in there. It's a building game. Build up the shade, don't you? So let's have a look. Just put that chisel into that edge and just smooth it out. There you go. Can add layers. Don't press too hard though. Can you see this okay? Paul, am I in close enough or should I come in a bit closer, do you think? Sorry about my fingernails. I made a decision at the weekend to cut them all off. Pottery decision, that was. It was a pottery decision because I kept gouging my pots. It's so frustrating when you throw a pretty good pot and then just at the last knockings, you put your fingernail in it. So I decided to cut them all off. I know, a bit radical. But there you go. I do love pottery. Pottery is important. Right. Can you see how it's starting to change? Just this colour on this edge. Have a look. Just gently does it. Let's just do the stalks. And I'm going to use some blue as well. I think, let's just get the shade down. Here we go. Just in there. There. How was your weekend? Did you have a good weekend? Did you have a good weekend? I had a great weekend, actually. Made a change. We actually went out on Saturday morning. We got up really early and we took off to the coast and went down to Rye. It's about an hour from here. Beautiful little town. So we went down to the harbour at Rye and walked through the bird sanctuary. Really cool. It was so windy. It was so windy. It was seriously. It was so windy. Yeah, like icy cold wind. It certainly woke you up. It certainly woke us up. Yeah, it was extreme. But it was so lovely. You know, we've spent so much time indoors, haven't we, through the pandemic? And we've kind of lost the habit, really. We got out of the habit, haven't we, of going out. Don't you find? I don't know, maybe I can only speak for Dave and myself. But we got so used to staying indoors that sometimes now we seem to forget that it's okay to go out again now. I feel that sometimes you have to sort of make the effort, you know, don't you? So so we went down there and it was really, really beautiful, like proper fresh. And yeah, I wasn't really dressed properly. I hadn't anticipated how cold it was going to be. I really hadn't. And yeah, it was. What about you? What did you get up to? Then we went to the fish man because there's a fresh fish guy there, of course. And so we bought some really nice fresh fish. We came home. We had a lovely fishy lunch. That was cool. Well, no, actually, we had a lovely fishy supper. There. And so that was nice. Nice to do something different, you know. And, you know, things that we used to take for granted, didn't we? We used to take that kind of thing totally for granted. And now it's kind of got lost somewhere. So it's nice to revive it a bit, I felt. I'm just coming around the flowers now. Right. There. That looks good. We're getting there already now. Just build up that shadow. Just take that away. And then I just want to lean on it, so I don't want to smear it. And then yesterday, what did I do? Oh, I did some pottery in the morning. Got up early again. Dave went to work. Got a lot on at the moment. So Dave went to work to make stencils. And I got with my hands and went and did some pottery. I had a real breakthrough. I felt it was interesting. I thought, I'm going to share this with you because let's see if we can do it together now. Because when I was doing my pottery, hang on, I'm concentrating on what I'm doing. That's why I can't talk and do this at the same time. Right, when I was doing my pottery last Sunday, I got up early and I made some pots. And it was all right, but it was a bit of a mess really, and I was out of practice, and I kind of it didn't work as well as I had hoped, you know. And I thought, okay, get back in the swing of it. So it's a discipline thing, isn't it? So the first opportunity I had since last Sunday was this Sunday. Get up early. You can do it early in the morning. So I got up early in the morning, and again I got my 8 1-pound balls of clay, wedged the clay. You know, it's quite it's a meditative kind of process, you know, because you're on your own and you wedge the clay and I thought to myself, and I listened a long time ago. I listened, do you know Keith Brymer Jones, the fella from the Throwdown? I listened to him in a documentary once. So he's a very good production potter. He's a very good potter. Perfect, right? Anyway, and I remember him saying, you have to be one with the clay. And at the time, I couldn't quite get my head around what he meant, you know. And he said, you've got to be one with the clay, be with the clay. You've got to be with the clay. And I thought, So yesterday I was thinking about what this Keith Brymer Jones had said. And I thought, right, I'm going to be one with the clay today. Okay. And so there's a difference when and it's the same with what we're doing here. There's a difference between letting your head do all the guiding and letting your hands do the guiding. There is a big difference, because let's say when you're throwing a bolt, or when you're shading, and when you're drawing, there are lots of different things to consider. You know, you don't press too hard, like with a pen. Don't come out too quickly, because then it will flatten. There are so many processes, and in a way, often you're so busy thinking about what you're doing, you're not, you know what we always say, get with your hands. You're not actually, there's no connection between, the connection's lost because you're overthinking everything. Do you get what I mean? And so yesterday I kind of really concentrated on the clay, on the feel of the clay, on how it was behaving. Like my hands got super sensitive, and I even tried the you know, when they go blindfold on the throwdown, they throw a pot blindfold. I closed my eyes. I didn't do a whole pot, but I just closed my eyes, and instantly your hands get more attuned, more one with the clay, because your eyes are not distracting you. It's very interesting. And so yesterday was a really kind of I had such a result. The pots came out better, they came out straighter, they came out taller, there wasn't any wobbling, the pressure was better, everything was better. And I think it had to do with my, it was like I took my brain and put it in my fingers, rather than thinking, must do this, must do that, must remember this, must remember that. You know what I mean? And I think it's not dissimilar to this kind of thing. If you sort of steer your thinking towards your hands. Let's see if we take I want to take a blue. Okay, this is a light blue, and let's just see what happens if I add blue as well into the shadow. Right, I just want to show you. Let's add a bit of blue here. Right, you see where there are crosses? Like this. Because it's a different kind of, it adds a different shadow. Now you try what I'm doing, if you fancy it. And what I'm saying is, so I'm talking, so it's quite difficult to talk and then really get with your hands. But if you now, right, just get a bit of paper and you'll understand me. So you can be thinking like long distance with your brain about what your hand is doing, or you can absolutely go to the pencil. It's a big difference. There's a difference. Here we go. Now my head's down here, and you know we always talk about this mindful thing. See, now my thinking is right here. It's not in my head. There. I'm right down with the tip of the pencil. Makes such a difference. I know that sounds pretty bizarre, but it actually works. And it was just an off-the-cuff thing that Keith said, and I thought, I wonder what he means when he says that. Because you always think when you're working like this, you must be with your hands, because you are with your hands, aren't you? But there's a difference between that's like next level meditation almost. Try it. When you're on your own and you're relaxing. See, as soon as now I'm thinking about exactly what I'm doing. So the shadow, have a look. It's going to be beautiful, this is, when it's done. So now what I want to do, are you working with me or are you, where am I here? I haven't done any shading on this one, have I? Here we go. There. And it's the same as pottery. It's no different. You just concentrate totally on the tip of that pencil. And we've talked about this before. We have. And probably I just needed to make the connection with pottery. I hadn't got there. I was overthinking everything. Let's see if this is working now. Right. So I've got them all yet? I think so. Let's do this bit here as well. That bit there. In the background. Have you got your pencil line in the background? There. Cool. Very cool. That's a flower there. Underneath the flower. Just concentrating on the background, aren't we? Hey, isn't that nice? Right, so that blue, I'm going to carry that blue through now on the shading. This is really nice, this blue. It's called sky blue. Right, here we go. Let's just take that blue and go in over that warm. I think that'll look good. Just a tiny flash of blue. See if that works. Oh yeah. So we're darkening it up now, aren't we? See, we just come through there. Nice. There we are. Yeah, so when we went to Rye, we blew the cobwebs away. It was wonderful. I remember years ago, years and years ago, when I was a young girl in my 20s, and I had a German boyfriend, Hannes, and he was a nice fella from Nuremberg, and we were in Cornwall. We went to Cornwall, and he was an athlete. He was a real athlete, and so we'd gone up on the walk right on the coastline, and it was really biting. You know what it caught. You know how it goes. Doesn't this look nice with blue? I think that looks lovely with the blue, don't you? You've got to look at it from a... Is it coming together now? Do you see? I haven't even touched the flowers yet. It's a vehicle, isn't it? It's a vehicle for yeah, for relaxation and distraction. That's what this is to me. And how nice that you get a pleasing piece of artwork afterwards. Yeah, so I was on the beach. I was on the coastline with Yanis. No, Yanis. Okay, Hannis his name was, and it was so biting cold, and we were miles from the B&B, and I remember his face when he turned around and he looked at me, and it was so, you know, because I didn't have a hat, you know, when the wind gets in your ears, it's so painful. And so I had these two, I put a lillet in each ear. So when he turned around, I had these two bits of blue string hanging out of my ears. But it was the only relief, it was the only thing, because you couldn't walk around like that. So I just put these two lillettes in my ears. Those were the days. And I could have done with a pair of lillettes when we were down in Rye. I don't know if Dave would have, I think he would have run for the hills if he'd seen me with lillettes in my ear. Yeah. It's biting, isn't it, when it goes in the ears? So there you go. Long time ago now. I mean, that's one of the best things about getting old. You've got so many good memories, hey? Got bad ones as well, but I tend not to remember those, funnily enough. I tend to go with the good ones. I have an ability to block out bad memories. I don't know if that's a good thing. It works for me. There we go. It's looking good, isn't it? I love it with the blue. I love it with the blue. Right. Let's take a grey now. Let's have a look. What grey have we got? I'm going to go with what we got here. Cold grey 3. Yeah, that's nice. So let's go with cold grey 3, and that will tone that blue down a little bit. And now we're going to go, okay, just bring that down and come in under the flowers, eh? Because in a minute, I think we're going to go for the flowers too. There we go. In here. So the nice thing about working on these watercolor, this little journal booklet, I love this. I love the texture because it gives you a real, like, purchase, as in the pigment grips the paper. It's quite nice, you know. And it's not that rough that you can't draw on it with micron pens. So that works okay. It's not that rough that you can't draw on it. You know what I mean? Some watercolor papers are so structured and so textured that you know, it's like the surface of the moon. Right, how's this looking now? So now let's get in the top. And the other thing is it's quite soft because it's quite thick. See, you can see where I'm pushing through a little bit, but it's so thick that you can actually get away with this. You can press quite hard and it doesn't. Right, here we go. How is everybody? I feel as if I'm wittering away to myself here. Well, I am. I am, aren't I? Yeah. So there's that connection between the hand. See, look, if I just really think about, there's like a next level thought process here. Yeah. You see what I mean? When you do this, you get right in it. It's really cool. There's a lot going on at the moment in the TV world. Affects everybody, affects a lot of my friends, affects us, affects the business. It affects everything. But, you know, I think I'm going to do another one in here. I had a thought. Jim and Dave and I were talking about this 2-letter words, and this is quite a good one. I think I'm going to put it in here, but in a different setting, and it is this one. It is as it is. Look, all 2-letter words. It is as it is, you know. I'm going to use this somehow. I'm going to, this is going to be one of the quotes in my book. It is as it is. It is as it is. Because it is as it is. It is as it is. Can't do anything about it. I can only control the controllable, but it is as it is. And I like the fact these little tiny 2-letter words pack such a punch, you know. They pack such a punch. And I think that they merit, I think I'm going to use them. See, now letters. We need to add a little bit of shade to the letters too, don't we? So how about we just use the grey on the lower side, just on the lower side. Let's get some depth in the letters next. We've done the stalks. Here we go. Just going to push through there like that. It's really cool, you know. Flowers last. That's what I was thinking. Mainly because I haven't decided yet what I want to do with the flowers. So I'm not going to think about it quite yet. There we are. Shadows. Nice. So yeah, it is as it is, and it will all be all right in the end. It will work out in the end, you know. I think acceptance is the key. It has to be. Acceptance is the key to all of it, to all our problems, in fact. You know, acceptance is the key to all my problems, all your problems, you know. If I just have to accept it. I can't balk against it. There's nothing I can do about it. So it is as it is, and you go with it. Does that look good? I think it's coming together really nicely. Yeah. There you go. You know? There. I think that's going to be really nice. How about you? Are you doing okay? Are you working with me, or are you just hanging out with us? Either way, you know, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. It's whatever works for you. When you... Was that the cat on the roof? I feel like a cat on a hot tin roof. Oh, jump off, Maggie, jump off. Onto what? Find a lover. You must think I've completely lost the plot now. Can you quote me, though? Do you know which film that is? Do you remember which film that is? It was one of the best films back in the day. Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. That was Paul Newman. Oh, and Elizabeth Taylor. I feel like a cat on a hot tin roof. That was Elizabeth Taylor. Well, jump off, Maggie, jump off. That was Paul Newman. And I remember watching the film. See, this is a good memory. And I remember, because I always had to lie on the floor. We only had 2 chairs. I know it sounds terrible, but it wasn't at all. It was just the way it was. In the living room, there were 2 big black swivel chairs, one for Mum and one for Dad. And that was it. And then Steve and I, we had to sit on the floor. But it was okay. That was the way it was. And so I'd either sit between my dad's legs and I'd watch, or I'd lie on my stomach next to my brother and we'd be like that watching the telly. And I just remember being gripped by Paul Newman and this passionate kind of confrontation between Elizabeth Taylor and Paul Newman. Beautiful people, right? The land of the beautiful people. And I just memorized it. There you go. And I would have been, what, 10 years old then? 10? And I still remember it. Isn't that funny? Yeah. And I remember lying on the floor. Oh, I got another memory now. I don't remember what film it was. I don't remember what film it was. It was my brother. And my mum and dad were in the big black leather armchairs. And we were watching something on the telly. And my brother, it must have been quite, I don't know, raunchy. Whatever was going on the telly, it was definitely quite raunchy. And suddenly, his little voice, he could only have been like, I don't know, 6 or 7 or 8 years old. Let me think. Yeah, he was only a kid. And he suddenly said, Dad, why have I got a funny feeling in my willy? And these are the memories, you know. I haven't thought about that for 40 years. But I remember at the time thinking, go on, Dad. It's a father-son thing. And I remember my dad said, watch the film. I remember saying to my dad, on another occasion, I remember saying to him, what's a virgin, Dad? What's a virgin, Daddy? And he said, look it up in the dictionary. Those were the days. Oh dear, sorry about that. Okay, back to the flowers. Yeah. Dad, why have I got a funny feeling in my willy? Anyway, where were we? Cat in a Hot Tin Roof, Elizabeth Taylor, Paul Newman. I can't even remember why I was talking about that now. Oh dear. My brother's put his back out really badly, apparently. He has his weak spot is his back. So he's out of action now, which is not good, and in great pain, which is even worse. So yep. Right, I'm on the letters. So yeah, I hope that he gets well soon. And not for any other reason than he's my brother. And he also happens to be in charge of Groovy Production. Oh, but hang on a minute. It is as it is. That's right. Acceptance is the key to all our problems today. Be all right. Main thing is he gets well, you know. He's always had that problem. I remember when we lived in the States together. We were in Sacramento. He was crippled with it. And that was when he was a young guy, you know. can't be good. And he's a big fella, you know, he's 6'4". And I don't know. I don't know why he's just got that bad back thing. But he always has had it. Yeah, so hopefully. In the wars at the moment, my men, aren't they? Go through phases like that. Dave, my dad, my brother. Yeah. Oh. It is as it is. I could write. There's another one that's going in this book. This too shall pass. Everything does. That's another one that's going in my little book of. Are you going to join me with the book of quotes? I think what's important is to make a book of quotes that means something to you, not just clever quotes from somebody else, but quotes that actually resonate with you, you know? So that when you're actually doing the job, when you're building your book of quotes, you're thinking about what you're writing. I feel like a cat on a hot tin roof. And it would evoke that memory every time. Just remember it. And her dad, he was Big Daddy in the film. Big Daddy. I can't remember, he was a big actor as well. Big bloke. Yeah, I ought to see if I can find the film again. I can't remember what it was about. I just remember that Big Daddy had a lot of control over her. I think that's how it went. Big Daddy. Right. Are you enjoying this? Of course, nothing like a good laugh, is there? Don't you find? I think laughter is such a great tonic. I know what I was going to ask you too. When you come to the shack, do you come? Why do you? When if I say why do you come, that sounds rude. I don't mean it like that. What is your primary purpose? Do you come for the company? Do you come for the doodling to learn how to draw? Do you come for the chats and the talks of the philosophy? Or do you come to hang out with me? Do you come, or is it a bit of everything? Is it all those things? All of the above? Is it to learn? What's most important? Do you see this as an art session, or do you see this as a therapy session? You know what I mean. Do you see this as an art session, or do you see this more as a kind of a therapy session? Some fun with a bunch of mates. I would really like to know, because I'm kind of thinking about which direction I'm going, you know. Minds are like flowers, they open only when the time is right. And that goes back to what I was saying when I was with the pot. I mean, I've been doing pottery, this is my 3rd year now, but yesterday was the first time where I completely felt the connection between the clay and my hands. And I kind of took my head out of it, if that makes sense. And it really worked. It really did. So my guess is, do you know what I'm going to do now? Only because I just want to see if I can find, just bear with me a second. That's a good idea. If I pop a mega mount in under there, right, then I'm not drawing off the edge. Do you see? I've just put something in between the two so that I'm not drawing off the edge of the paper. That's it. See, I can hit the without. That's better. Yeah, that's more like it. Burl Ives. Zara, thank you. Burl Ives was Big Daddy. That was funny. And I mean, there wasn't a lot to watch in those days, was there? It was like Sunday night was always a good film, if I'm not mistaken. Sunday night was a good night for films, one film. I mean, now you've got 1,000 channels and there's rubbish on every one of them. We sit there going through it in the night, and then Dave says, "What would you like to watch, dear?" And I say, period drama. He sees his little eyes roll. Period drama. He goes, "We've seen them all." I said, "I bet you find another one." Period drama. I don't do violence. I can't do violence. I can't do violence. I'm not really into war films. Don't really get off on sci-fi. And there's so much violence and just aggression, you know. And so we watch period drama. Even the things that they think is funny, I don't think is that. And it's very rare that you see something that really makes you laugh. I don't know. I don't know whether I've lost it or the telly's lost it, because you've got so much choice now. But it's like you're spoilt for choice, or the choice is just not, you know. Perhaps in the good old days, God, I'm starting to sound like my mother. You know, there was less choice, so you appreciated it more. You know, like, do you remember when we were kids? Disney. We only got Disney on Christmas Day. Round about the Queen's speech, I think after the Queen's speech, we used to get like Fantasia for half an hour. Walt Disney, that was it. You know, on the telly. Other than that, you had to go to the cinema to watch it. And now you got the Disney Channel, you know, and it's all there, isn't it? And yet I remember going to, we lived in Aylesbury at the time. I remember going to watch The Jungle Book at the cinema and just being blown away by The Jungle Book. You know, it just things like that. And I guess now think, well, it's just all different, isn't it? It's all different. And so to be honest, I enjoy hanging out in the garage more. Where the pottery studio is. Cool, I like this with the blue as well. Don't you? It reminds me a bit of the London Underground, the map. And now we have the flowers, les fleurs. Now, do I stick with the same colour or do I go with a different colour? What are you going to do? Have you decided yet? I wish I'd decided before we went live. See, we can always come back and add a bit more shade, can't we? We've done all the background, but now we've got to do the flowers. What about a real light, fleshy, peachy colour? Yeah. See, I bet that looks good. Just a little bit. Yeah, here we go. So this is one of those colours that's in that set of 12. Beige red, they call it. Beige red. Well, if you like. It's called beige red. That's very PC, isn't it? Beige red. What is beige red? That's beige red. Okay. Well, we're going beige red then. Right, there we are. Just add a little bit of beige red to the base, and then we can always add a bit of the shadow afterwards. Do you know, I quite like this. Here you are. This looks quite good, you know. I wonder if we could add a bit of... Do I want to add lots of beige red or just a flash? Maybe I'll use the beige red to do the shadow. Hey. This is lovely. If you haven't got one of these little journals, treat yourself. Treat yourself to this, because it's a real pint size. It's like the size is the right thing, you know. And also, got a little pocket in here for bits. I quite like this. And I don't care if it gets a bit tatty and grungy. It's going to be my book of thoughts and my book of quotes. And that is a good idea as well, Gray, to lean on something like that. Yeah. After the shack, I shall sit down and I'll read through. I do read through your responses, and I shall ask Paul, and we'll have a little debate about why we always get together. What is it that motivates you to come and join us in the shack? And also, here's another question. You know, like the moments of clarity where I just do demos, and then show you what's new, and then we have a craft along. How do you feel about that? Do you enjoy that? Should we do a little bit of that again? Because we've had a lot going on since the beginning of the year and so on. You know, I kind of have neglected that, and it's already February the 14th. Les fleurs. There you go. Beautiful roses, flowers. Freddie's flowers, they are. No, Dave. No. I haven't got a new fella called Freddie. Freddie's flowers. They're you get them delivered. I get them delivered every couple of weeks. Really nice. I love Freddie's flowers. I love the concept. I love the marketing. Anyway, and there are always fresh flowers in the house, and it's really good price. You know, if you can sway it, it's 25 quid for a beautiful bouquet of flowers, and usually they last a month. You know, so you've always got a couple of bunches of flowers on the go. It's really cool. Freddie's flowers, look it up. Really good. Yeah, so what I was going to say is, how do you feel about a little session of a craft along? And I've got some really nice new things that perhaps we could present in a moment of clarity, and then you could get it up front. So the reason I'm taking my foot off the pedal is because at the moment we're just trying to get all the sales stuff out the door. So I don't want to start piling you up with more products and stamps and designs. You know, I want to make sure that we've got what you've already bought out of the cupboard, out of the front door, I mean, and make sure that you've got that safely before we start on the next thing. You understand? But that doesn't mean that we can't. This looks really nice with this colour. I love the blue and the... See, I like those two colours together, don't you? See? Yeah, so that's really why we've been so busy, and with everything going on in TV world as well, you don't want to overcook it, you know? Got to take it easy a bit. But would you be down for like a craft along? See, the thing is with the craft along, we're going to do something cool. I've got to make sure that you've got it. You've got whatever it is we're using in plenty of advance. So I would say that probably maybe we'll hang fire until March, and then I'll present you with something beautiful. And then by then that's it, March. And then the middle of March, which will be around my birthday, then we can have a craft along together. That'd be nice. Yeah, let's do that. Now that's what I call a way to celebrate the birthday. Yeah, with a lot of like-minded friends. I reckon that would be lovely. Let's do that. That's what we'll do. I think that would be great. I'll look at the calendar. I'll talk to Paul. I'll have a look at what I would like to do in the craft along. Yeah. What do you think about a jelly plate one? Do you fancy a gel press one? Hey? You always want to know how to use them. We could do it together, like properly, couldn't we? Most of you've got one. I know loads of you've got one and don't get it out of the cupboard, which is useful. Hey? Oh no. I'm always doing things like that. Buying things that I think, yeah, that'd be great. And then, do you like this? I love it. I love this colour. I'm glad I went for this peachy colour. Do you know what I think would also look really good? Now, I'm just, humour me here. How about the dots on the eyes are also peachy? Cool, that looks nice. There you go, look. Voila. Not the O's. Let's just do the dots on the eyes for starters. We can always go back and add more grey. There, doesn't that look good? I'm right into this. Now, let me see. What colour shall I go? I wonder, let me just try this before you do it and see if I want to add any grey to the flowers. Do I want to add a bit of grey? Yeah, just a little bit of grey in the folds of the petals, eh? God, you could sit about for hours, couldn't you? Hey, love it. And then, of course, this would be nice as well, because you could get a real feeling of just with, that's where this watercolor comes into effect, the watercolor paper, because you can make, see, almost like shells, aren't they? Look, so you can get the shadow going in from the top. That look nice. Yeah. But I know we're running out of time now, my friends. So that's what we'll do then. Okay? We'll plan on getting together the middle of March. Beginning of March, I'll come up with something really smashing for us to do together. Okay? Like that. Do you like that? Nice, huh? Still do with a little bit more shading, but I'm happy with that. How's yours come out? I like it a lot. I like it a lot, and I like my frame of mind on a Monday morning, ready to embrace the week. So, Paul, thank you very, very much for helping. I shall see you on Thursday. Paul and Linda will be with you tomorrow to keep you company at 10 o'clock in the Groovy Shack, Groovy Tuesday. And then, if I'm not mistaken, Paul is on the Craft Store with the Pergamano show on Thursday at what time? 11 o'clock and 3 o'clock. So, but I'll remind you on Thursday when I'm here. So enjoy your week. Do something creative, make something, keep smiling. It is as it is. The rest is up to you. Lots of love. Bye-bye now.